Hey everybody, welcome back to Leozovi. This is part 4, I think, in the meditation series, and this one's all about mantra meditation. And there are different kinds of mantra meditation, but there's really two that sort of stand out. There's transcendental meditation, or TM, and then there's conventional mantra meditation. And it's very controversial to lump TM in that category because some people who practice it, and incidentally, I practice it, and big fan, by the way, big fan of transcendental meditation, but some people who practice it try to treat it like it's a totally different animal altogether, and all these you know secret handshakes, not literally, but it is definitely a form of mantra meditation or mantra meditation. And what mantra or mantra meditation does is it allows you to focus very similarly to how Vipassana you might focus on breathing or an object or an idea. Mantra meditation, you focus on a mental sound, so a word, in other words. Um, and that can be a sentence, that can be a word, and then of course most famously it's stereotyped by children around the world, Aum or Om, which is a divine sound associated with the creation of the universe in Hinduism. But not just that, it's really complicated. I'm actually not even going to get into that because then this would be like a 20-minute video. But focusing on a single word does two things. One, the focus on the word itself can allow subconscious contemplation of the word, which, in the case of something complex like the name of a divinity, the the idea of Om, or even more or less the abstract idea of death, which is not the same thing as death meditation. That'll be probably the next episode. By allowing you to focus on a single aspect of it, it lets you sort of subconsciously rife through all the other data that your mind's collected about it, and it allows for something very similar to insight, which is kind of funny when you consider that Vipassana is considered an insight form of meditation. Well, mantra meditation is absolutely insightful as well, just in a different way. But the more important thing that it does is it allows your mind to be a little active, so you don't get like bored and start daydreaming. It allows you to be just a little bit more active. Every now and again, every few seconds, you don't time it, but when your mind starts to relax or drift a little bit, you go back to that word. And what's grand about that is it really keeps you focused on the task at hand. It makes it a little easier. It's the equivalent. It's the meditative equivalent, in my opinion, of doing your homework or your work in a room where your Xbox or PlayStation isn't. That's kind of what mantra meditation does. It removes, or it doesn't remove, obviously, it distances the temptation to drift mentally from meditation. And so it's really, really, really useful in that regard. In fact, I highly recommend transcendental meditation. I know it's controversial to openly recommend transcendental meditation, but I think it's actually probably the best form for somebody who just wants to get into meditation, period. It's expensive, but the best thing about it is the way that it approaches some of the more negative connotations that meditation will ultimately have. It approaches it in a really healthy way, that I think greatly decreases the likelihood of any kind of issues. And two, and this is an even bigger one, well, for me at least, and that is just practicing all sorts of different kinds. I find that I'm more inclined to get what I call jhana, which is not the term I think they use in transcendental meditation, but when I do a mantra meditation like transcendental meditation, I'm much more likely to interstates of mental clarity and bliss that it takes a lot more work with other kinds. And maybe that's just me. Maybe that's kind of like preference in food or something. But I find that it's really helpful in that regard. And that's really all there is to mantra meditation. I thought this was going to be a 10-minute video at least, but it's a pretty simple concept. You sit, you relax, you don't daydream and think about stuff, and it's not the end of the world if thoughts do arise, like I said. But you use a word as sort of an anchor, and it's important that that word not have any negative connotations to you. Um, there's a reason why Om is a common one in mantra meditation. It's a positive word and it's a complex idea, and as such, it's not going to draw all these other notions. Whereas if, for example, you were to pick, I don't know, chalk or something, well, you're probably going to start daydreaming about school, or you're going to smell chalk, or you're going to think about, wonder where chalk comes from. Things like that are going to happen. So it's very important that a mantra, and you know, that's another reason why TM's a good first pick, because you're not going to have to worry about that. So yeah, that's about it for this one. It's highly recommended if as a beginner's meditation. And I say that, and it sounds, people hear the word beginner, they think it's sort of a derogatory term. I, Mantra meditation is something you could literally do cradle to grave, not experiment with any other forms of meditation, and do great. So, yeah, I don't mean it in the sense that it's like an amateur form. I simply mean that it's very accessible. So, yeah, like, share, subscribe, keep asking questions. And yeah, I guess next one, I'll go ahead and cement that, is going to be death meditation. Bye.